Hello everyone, welcome back to your favorite channel Studlins, which adds excellence to your learning.
Have you ever imagined if we need to store 100 variables value, so are we going to use the 100 different variable? We will be using a variable who can store all my value at a single place. So to achieve this, we use the concept of the array. So let's see what is an array, what are the advantages of the array, and what are the disadvantages and some of the important questions which are being used in the array. So basically, array is a collection of the homogeneous data types under a single unit. Here, homogeneous means data of the same type. Like for example, if we need to store the integer values, then all the values in the array must be of integer type. If we use another data type, then it is going to show an error message on the screen. Array are basically of two types. One is 1D array or one-dimensional array, and the other one is multi-dimensional array, under which 2D, 3D and other comes. So, in this lecture, we will mainly focus on the 1D and 2D array and the functions related to them. As we can see on the screen, we can define the array in the following way. Data type, then the variable name, and inside the variable name, we will pass the size as an argument. Else, we can also initialize the array elements at the time of the declaration of the array as mentioned on the screen. Then comes the two-dimensional array. So two-dimensional array is basically a combination of rows and columns being kept together, or we can also take matrix for example. As we can see on the screen, we have one row being mentioned as I and the column mentioned here as J. Now we have seen how we can define a valid array variable in C++. So now it's time to insert elements into it. So as you can see on the screen, we have defined here a for loop and we have iterated till the size of the array and we have inserted the value in it. Now coming to access the array elements. So to access them, we use the index of the array elements, like here we have used the index 2 to access the third element of the array, because by default the indexing starts from the 0th position.
Now let's practically apply whatever we have learned in this part in our live coding session. So let's move to the live coding session.
So good morning everyone. तो आज की इस लेक्चर में हम देख रहे होंगे that what is actually arrays in C++. तो जैसा कि आपने अभी तक हमारे एनिमेशन में देखा होगा that array is something like storing the array elements in the contiguous memory location. So for example, अगर हमारे पास एक वेरिएबल है यहाँ पे a और after that we have another variable b and we have another variable c. So for example, let me change the color. So for example, if the address of a is for example 22 and the address of b is 23, and so the address of b would be so here the address of b would be 26 and somewhere the address of c would be 30. So we can see here 22, 26 and 30, they all are at different locations. So actually tracing a tracing B and tracing C is actually a very difficult task for a programmer. So to remove this type of problem, like to remove the problem of tracing the elements, the concept of array has come. So let us see the concept of array, what it is all about. So let me erase it first. So let me increase its size. So yeah. So now as we can see that array are like block of memory. So for example, we have divided here block of memory 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So the address would be address, not we call it to be the index here. Index हम यहाँ पे इसलिए कह रहे हैं क्योंकि index is something like if we need to access the element of an array, so we'll be using the index itself. So here 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. But here you need to keep one thing in mind, that always the indexing starts from 0 and goes up to n minus 1. So actually what is here n? So n means the size of an array which we have defined. So actually the n which we have defined here is like size of array. So this 0th position will be the first element. So if someone asks you, like for example, you are going to access the second index. So what will be the second index? Second index would be, so the second index would be the third element of the array. So the main concept behind behind understanding this array is, like for example, we need to define here 100 variables. So if we need to define one or two variables, then yeah, we can use the variable concept, like we have declared the variable and after that we have assigned the values to them. But coming to this 100 variables, it may be 1000, it may be 1 lakh. So are we going to define the 100 different variables? No. For that we are going to define an array which would be of 100 in size. Starting index would be 0 and then 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on, and after that we will be storing value, like I have stored here value 20, then 21, 22, after that 23 and 24. So actually these values which are being stored here, they actually are in the continuous memory location. So how they're in the continuous memory location? So let me explain that too. So let me explain that also, that what is the main concept behind. I am telling that why that actually why storing the value in the array is like contiguous memory location. So let me explain that concept further. So for example, what I am doing first, like I have the first block, then I have the second block, and then I have the third block. So the address of this, so the index of this is 0, the index of this one is 2 and 1, and the index of this one is 2. So now coming to the address part of it. So for example, its address is 0xFEC. This one address is 0xFEB, and this one address is 0xFED. So these all are addresses which we have defined. These are of the hexadecimal form. So actually the zeroth index, the first index and the second index values are in the continuous memory location, because here we can see that it's an array of integer data type. So it's an array of int data type, so the size is 4 bytes. So the element which is going to be stored on 0th position, that is 2. If for suppose I am going to store the value 2, so the difference between the first and the second address would be of +4, because the size of an array integer of each element is 4 byte. That's why this is also +4, this is also +4. So if I'm going to store here 3 and I'm going to store here 4, so the difference of the address between them is 4 bytes. But the zeroth index, first index and the second index value would always be in the continuous memory location. So in this lecture we are actually going to focus on 3 things. So I'm going to tell you what. So the 3 things would be, first of all, declaration of an array. So the 3 things would be declaration. After that, once we have declared the value, then what we'll be doing, we'll be trying to know before accessing what we need to do. Can anyone tell me? So before accessing, first I need to insert the element in it. So I'll be inserting. After that, my third task would be accessing the elements. And after that, my fourth task will be, I'll be telling you the concept of the garbage value. So in this lecture we are mainly going to focus on declaration of array. After that, inserting the element in it. After that, accessing the values with the help of their index. And after that, we'll be seeing the concept of garbage. So let's see that actually how we can declare an array. So let's see that. Yeah. So now we'll be seeing that declaring an array. So how actually we can declare an array? So to declare an array, first of all, we define the data type. That what will be the data type of an array? So what are the data types which are present in the C++? So that is int data type, that is char data type, then comes the double, then after that comes the string data type, then we have the bool data type under which only true and false come, and so on. So after defining the data type, we'll be defining the name of an array. So I'll be defining here array name. So this actually definition of an so defining the array name is just same like declaring a variable. So actually what is declaring a variable? So what are the rules which we follow while declaring a variable? I'll be telling you right now. After that, what we'll be doing, we'll be passing the size of an array. So actually what will be the size, like which we have been telling by now, n. So like we have declared the variable to be n. So the size which we define here, that is not dynamic in nature. So actually what is the meaning of dynamic here? So let me explain you further. So what is actually we call here dynamic? Like for example, I have defined here an integer of int like an array of int data type. I have defined here int arr2. I have done this one. Now what will happen? This size 2 which is mentioned here will have the block of memory like this as mentioned on the screen. So for example, this is 1, 2 and 3. So this will have the address 0, this will have the address 1 and this will have the address 2. here, like for example, if it's the int data type, so if I'm going to write here hi, and if I'm going to write here 2, and if I'm going to write here 3, this is going to show me an error because at this place I have used the string data type which I was not required to use. So what I'll be doing, I'll be erasing this one. Okay, so now I'll be erasing this one, and in place of hi I would be mentioning 1. But if for example I'm going to write inside the cout, so actually what is cout? Cout is an statement which is used to output the message. In C++. So inside cout, so these are the operators which we use with the cout. So what I'll be doing, I'll be writing the cout. After that, the name of an array, that is arr here, and then after that writing here 3. So if I'm going to do this one, I'm going to get an error. Why I'm going to get an error? It may happen that you may tell me that actually we have here 3 values. If you can see here, this one is the first value, this one is the second, this one is the third, and I'm trying to access the third value. But no, that is not the concept, because here you are not accessing the third value, actually you are accessing the third index. So whatever which is mentioned inside this argument is actually the index value. So here the index is only up to 2, means I'm going to get an error that is out of bound, because out of bound means मैंने यहाँ पे सिर्फ 2 इंडेक्स तक की वैल्यू डिफाइन किया है, लेकिन आप यहाँ पे थर्ड इंडेक्स एक्सेस करना चाहते हो. मींस once I have defined the size of an array, so what I was telling here, like once if I have defined the size of an array this side, so this is not going to change in whole program, that is going to be remain constant. So now how we can eradicate this problem? So this problem can be solved with the help of DMA, which stands for dynamic memory allocation, which we will be seeing in our coming lectures. So as of now, I'm 100% confident that you would have understood that actually how we define that array, that is data type. Then after that, name of an array. So after that, name of an array, and then after that, size as an argument in it. So now what we'll be doing? So now we'll be seeing that how actually we can insert the array inside array. So let's see that. So before that, let me erase. So let's see that. So before that, let me erase this one. Yeah. So now what we will be doing, we will see. Sorry for that. So we will be seeing how we can insert elements. So like we have an array of size 5. So if we have an array of size 5, then can you all tell me that till which position we are going? Yeah, you all are right. We are going till 4. So that is 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. And for example, we have stored here value 1, 2, 3, 7 and 8. But how actually this value are being inserted inside an array? So we will be seeing that first. So how this is done? So first of all, what we are doing, we are declaring an array. So let me tell you the steps. Our first step will be declaring an array. After that, our second step would be defining a loop, and after that inserting the elements. So let's see that how actually we can do that. So before that, let me erase this one. Yeah. So now what we are going to do, we are going to do our first step, that is int name of the variable and then after that the size. We have done our first step. Now coming to the second step, we'll be defining a for loop. So for loop we have the syntax. So for loop we have the syntax for int I is equal to 0, I less than 2, I plus plus. Then after that we will be using the cin, and then after that we will be using the I. अब आपको ऐसा लग रहा होगा कि हमने यहाँ पे ये एरे डिफाइन की, और दिस स्टेप आई एम गोइंग टू टेल टू बी माई सेकेंड स्टेप. So actually how this two statement works. So let's see that how this two statement works. So for that I am going to teach you an hit and trial method. So for example, I have defined here a variable I, as you can see here, that is called the iterative variable, and then we have the array elements, that is 3, that is first is 0, then 1, then 2. Now what is happening? First I have initialized the array value to be 0. So inside the array the value which is being passed to be 0. So now what will happen? The pointer would be pointing to this position. So what I have done, I have told that if this one is 0, so you need to insert the value at this position, at this one, at 0th position. So with the help of this operator, we are taking the input from the user. With the help of this operator, we are taking the input from the keyboard, and then that is being stored inside this value, and that is at last going to be stored in the box. So for example, I have taken the input to be 2. So now what happens? Now this condition is initialized. It has been checked that 0 is less than 2. So here it has been checked that 0 is less than 2. Yeah, the condition is true. So this statement is running. Now what will happen? The I value will be incremented, and now from 0 the value will change to 1. So again it will check the condition, that is 1 less than 2. Yes, 1 less than, so here we need to use here less than equal to 2. I'll be telling you why I have done that. So 1 is less than 2. Yes, it's correct. So now inside I we have the value to be 1. So what we are going to do, we are going to store the value at this position. Where we are going to store the value? We are going to store the value at this position. So for example, I have stored the value to be 3. Now coming to the next part, now again the value of I is incremented. Now the I value is incremented to +1 once again. So now I value is 2. So now if I value is 2, so it will be again checking the 2 less than 2. So यहाँ पे जो मैंने अभी ये स्टेटमेंट जो चेंज की थी, जो आप यहाँ पे देख रहे होंगे, ये स्टेटमेंट जो मैंने यहाँ पे चेंज की थी कि मैंने लेस देन से लेस देन इक्वल टू किया था. मैंने यहाँ क्यों किया था? क्योंकि अगर यहाँ पे ये चेक हो गई कंडीशन 2 लेस देन 2, सो दिस कंडीशन इज फॉल्स, बट आवर वन एलिमेंट विल रिमेन वैकेंट हियर. So for that we need to run the loop from 0 till n-1. Why n-1? Because here we are going to store the value, because if we have 2, so we'll have the element to be on the 0th position, on the first position, and on the second position. If we are going to define here 2, so sorry, it's my mistake. We are not going to have this position. This condition was actually correct. We were not to use this condition. Yeah, so let me write here 2. Sorry for my mistake, because actually जो यहाँ पे हमने जो 2 define किया है, we are going to tell that we'll have only 2 elements in our array. which will have the index to be 0 and 1. So for that, what we have done, we are actually going to run our loop from the 0 to n minus 1. So if we are going to do that thing, so we'll have the elements in our array, that is 2 and 3. So if the problem still remains, so let me explain you with one more example. Sorry for my mistake. Let me once again explain it. So let's, for example, I have defined here int arr4. So from this arr4, what I have told, that it will be an array having 4 elements. So let's make an array of 4 elements. So yeah, so that will be 0, 1, 2 and 3. So but you can see here the last index is n minus 1. Why the last index is n minus 1? Because index starts from 0 and goes up to n minus 1. So you can see here that we were having the 4 element, that is 1, 2, 3 and 4. And if we start from 0, so it is but obvious that our last index will be n minus 1. So now let's see that how actually we are inserting the value inside them. So I'll be using a for loop. So how I'm going to use that one? So let's see that. I'll be defining here a for loop for int I is equal to 0, I less than 4, I plus plus, and then I'll be using cin and then arr ai. Now how this statement is going to work, I'll be explaining you. So for example, let me draw here a line and I'll be showing you a hit and trial case. So what we have done, we have defined a variable I, and we have an array already being formed of size 4. So 1, 2, 3 and 4, having the index 0, 1, 2 and 3. So what we are going to do, in the first line we have defined, this is the initialization part, this one is the condition check, and this one is the increment part. So in for loop we have 3 things: initialization, condition check and the increment part. So in the starting we have initialized the value of I to be 0. So once we have initialized the I value to be 0, so inside the arr we are having the 0. So where my pointer is going to point, first of all my pointer will be pointing to this position. So whatever value I am going to take from here, so this is used for the input purpose. So for example, I have taken the value input to be 2. So I am going to define here value 2. Now what will happen? This time this statement will run. So value of I will change from 0 to 1. Once the value is being changed from 0 to 1, it is going to check here the condition, that is 1 less than 4. Yeah, the condition is true. So now what will happen? Now the pointer will not be pointing to this one, the pointer will be pointing to this one, and this time the value would be arr1. And for example, we have taken the 3 as an input. So we'll write here 3. So in the same manner, the condition will keep on going till the time now comes here the last case, that is 4. For example, we have used here value 4 and we have defined here value 5. Now the condition comes that is 4 less than 4. Yeah, the condition is absolutely false, because 4 is not less than 4, 4 is less than equal to 4. So what will happen? Because now we don't have any place left here, so the condition will come out of the loop and the next condition which is present here will be executed. So how this all work? First of all, we have initialized the iterative variable value. Then after that we have defined that till which condition the array need to be iterated, and after that how we are going to increment the value of I, we have done that one. After that we have used this input operator and we have taken the input here and then we have inserted the value inside them. Now coming to so now it's time to access the value which we have inserted inside the which we have actually inserted inside an array. So how we can do that? That can also be done with the help of arrays itself. So this time in place of cin we'll be using the cout. So how we can do that? So let's see that. So for example, take this array only which we have created just now. So what I'll be doing, I'll be using a for loop. Inside for loop, once again I'll be using I is equal to 0, I less than 4 and I plus plus. So this time what I'll be doing, I'll be using the cout statement, and inside that I'll be taking out the so inside that I'll be writing the value of I and I'll be printing it. तो अब यहाँ पे ये काम कैसे कर रहा होगा? तो first of all we have a I that is 0 here. So what will happen? It will tell the compiler that whichever value which is being present on the 0th position, just output that. So I'll get the output to be 2. Now the value will be incremented and now the I value will be 1. So once the I value is changed, so what is going to happen? So now what will happen? Inside I, this time it will have the value as the second I, that is 1. So now from here the pointer will change to this position and it will have the value at the first index, that is 3. In the same manner it will go up to till the third one, and then my whole value will be printed, that is 2, 3, 4 and 5. So by now I am confident that you all would have understood that actually how we define an array and actually how we insert the value inside them. Means by now I am 100% sure that you would have understood that how we declare an array. We declare an array by defining a proper data type, then a valid variable name, and inside that defining its size. Then we have seen that why we define a loop and how actually it is going to help us in inserting the elements in it, and after that accessing the element. So as of now we have seen this thing theoretically. Now it's time to see this one in a practical one. So that is on the IDE, which stands for Integrated Development Environment. So let me open my code block. So as you can see here that what I have done, I have defined this one has included IOStream. Then after that I have used the using namespace std. These are the namespace for the cin and cout purpose. Then what I have done, I have defined an array here that is int arr5. So what would be happening here? जब यहाँ पे हम int arr5 अगर जब हमने बोला होगा, तो let me show you here. जब हमने यहाँ पे int arr5 बोला होगा तो आपको ही पता है कि अभी क्या हुआ होगा. अभी कंपाइलर ने क्या किया होगा, हमारे लिए एक ब्लॉक ऑफ मेमोरी डिफाइन कर दी होगी जहां पे कि हमारा जो साइज होगा, हमारा वो साइज होगा 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 and its index would be 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. So this would be the case which has been done by the compiler. Now I have used here cout, enter the elements inside the array, and then after that I have defined a for loop, that is for int I is equal to 0, and after that I have iterated this loop till of less than 5, means I have iterated this loop till n minus 1, and then I have incremented this value one by one, and then I have inserted the value in it. Now what I'll be doing, this time I have actually taken the value inside an array. So now what I'll be doing, I'll be showing this value on the screen. So in place of C out, I just need to change the value to be from C into C out, as I have copy pasted this code. But I request you to code along with me so that you can have a good knowledge of coding. So what I have done, actually I have defined this one. So now it's time to run the code. So I'll be using this button, that is build and run. So as I'm going to run this code, you can see here that it will show me a message that enter the elements inside the, so it will show me here that enter the message inside an array. So I'll be writing a 1 2 3 4 and 5, sorry 5. If I'm going to press here enter, I'm going to I'm going to see here 1 2 3 4 5. The sum of an elements are 15. Actually I have defined another code down of the same, that's why it is showing an error. So what I'll be doing, I'll be using here a escape character, that is ENDL, for the end of line. Now if I'm going to once again run the code, so before that I need to close this window. So once again I'm going to run this code. So it is going to ask me that enter the element. So I'll be using 1 2 3 4 and 5. As soon as I'm going to enter here, I'm going to see that the values to be 1 2 3 4 and 5. Because what happened here, I have taken the 5 inputs, and after taking the 5 input I don't have so the loop came out, so the control came out of the loop, and then this 11 to so this line is executed, that is 11th and 12th. So this is actually how this happens. So now, as of now, you have understood that how you define an array, how you insert the elements in it, and how you display them. So now I'll be giving you some of the questions, and I request you to please practice them and give their answer in our comment section, and I'll be seeing that who is giving the best code. So our first question is, find the largest element in an array. After that, our second question would be find not. I'll be asking you to print. So I'll be telling you print all the even and odd number in an array. Now my third question would be, so let me change the color. So my third question would be, find the sum of all the elements which are present inside the array. So for all these three questions, I'm just giving you a bit logic that how you can do that. So for example, we'll be seeing the first question. So for example, I have an array of size 5. So I have 1 2 3 4 and 5. I have 0 1 2 3 4 and 5. I have values inside them to be 22 31 48 2 and 1. So now manually I can see that this one is the largest. So how I can achieve it with the help of the coding part? So I'm just giving you a hint. You can take explicitly that the first element is the largest. After that, you iterate the loop from this side and just check with this value that if the next position is having the larger value than what we have thought of, so just replace their value and do the same thing till the last one and then print the value. Now coming to the second question. In second question, what you can do, you just need to check that if the value which is present on the particular position, like for example, we have the value to be ARRI. Inside ARRI, if ARI percent to equal to 0 means the given number is even. So just print that value. Else print that value, so that will be odd, because if that is not even, then it is going to be odd. Now coming to the third question, so how we can define the third one. So in the third one, what we can do, we can define a variable sum and we can initialize this value to be 0, because if we don't initialize it, it will contain some garbage value. So initialize it to 0, then iterate over it, and then add 22 to 31, then add this to sum to 48, and then add these three sums to 2, and add these all four sum to 1. So for that we will be iterating over, and we will be using the statement sum is equal to sum plus ARRI. So what this will do here, as soon the I value is going to be updated, I am going to get the new values of the array. So I'll be getting the new values, and at last print the same. So this is actually what is so this was actually the logic of all three questions. So this is so by now only we have seen about the 1D array. In the coming lecture, so as of now we have seen the 1D array. In the coming lecture we are also going to see that what is 2D array, and we will be seeing one of the famous question, that is printing the pattern. So this was all for this lecture. We'll meet you again in the coming lecture. That's all. Thank you. So अभी तक हमने वन डायमेंशनल एरे देखा था अपने C++ में, जहाँ पे कि हमने ये देखा था कि हाउ वी डिक्लेयर एन एरे, after that how we define a loop, and in the continuation of the same we have seen that how we can access the elements. So now in this lecture we will be seeing the concept of two-dimensional array. Two-dimensional array is actually the advanced form of one-dimensional array. तो यहाँ पे 2D मीन्स आपको ये पता होगा, भी हमने अपने एनिमेशन में हमने देखा कि दैट इट इज द कॉम्बिनेशन ऑफ रोज प्लस कॉलम्स. तो अब जैसे कि मैंने यहाँ पे बोला कि ये रोज एज वेल एज कॉलम्स का कॉम्बिनेशन है, मीन्स फिर हमने ये भी बोला कि 2D एरे कैन ऑल्सो बी कॉल्ड एट मैट्रिक्स. तो अभी मैट्रिक्स होती क्या है, तो हमने मैथ्स में मैट्रिक्स पढ़ा था, मैट्रिसेस एंड डिटर्मिनेंट्स हमने पढ़ा था. तो द सेम केस लाइज हियर. सो बिफोर दैट लेट मी इरेज माय स्क्रीन. So yeah, so now let's see that what is actually the matrix. So rows means आपको पता होगा कि जो हॉरिजॉन्टल कॉलम्स होते हैं, जो हॉरिजॉन्टल कॉलम्स होते हैं वो हमारा कंसिस्ट करते हैं रोज, और उसके बाद हमारे जो वर्टिकल कॉलम्स होते हैं, जो वर्टिकल लाइन होती है वो एक्चुअली कंसिस्ट करती है हमारी कॉलम्स. सो अब आप यहाँ पे ये देख रहे होंगे कि रोज और कॉलम्स का मतलब रोज और कॉलम से हम क्या कहना चाह रहे हैं. सो लेट्स सी दैट. सो बिफोर दैट लेट मी रेज माय स्क्रीन. So I've erased my screen. So now coming to the two-dimensional array. So for example, I have defined here one block, 2, then 3, after that one more, 2, 3, and one more line this side. तो यहाँ पे हमने ये डिफाइन किया. तो जो यहाँ पे पहली लाइन है, एक्चुअली जो यहाँ पे आप देख रहे होंगे, ये जो हमारी पहली लाइन है ये हमारी रो है, और जो ये हमारी वर्टिकल लाइन है ये कॉलम्स है. तो चूंकि हमें जैसे मान लीजिए हमने यहाँ पे वैल्यू स्टोर किया 0, 1, 2, then 3, then after that 4, then 5, then here 6, 7 and 8. तो जैसा कि हमने अपने वन डायमेंशनल एरे में देखा था, हमें वहाँ पे एलिमेंट्स को एक्सेस करने के लिए हम इंडेक्स का कॉन्सेप्ट यूज करते थे। लाइक अगर हमारा ये एक एरे है जिसमें कि हमने 4 एलिमेंट डिफाइन कर रखे हैं 1 2 3 एंड 4। तो अगर यहाँ पे ये, लेट मी चेंज माई कलर फर्स्ट। तो जैसे यहाँ पे ये 0 है, ये 1 है, ये 2 है और ये 3 है। तो यहाँ पे हमने डिफाइन किया था 1 2 3 एंड 4। सो इफ वी नीड टू एक्सेस दिस सेकंड एलिमेंट, if we need to have this second element, so what I would have written, cout arr, that is name of an array, and after that the index on which it is present. So if I need to take here 2 as an output, so am I going to write here 2 or am I going to write this statement? So out of this two, which one is correct? So yeah, this one is not correct. This the second statement is correct because यहाँ पे हमें सेकंड एलिमेंट को एक्सेस करना है जिसकी वैल्यू 2 है। सो आई वोंट बी राइटिंग हेयर 2 बिकॉज आई नीड टू मेंशन हेयर इंडेक्स, सो इट इज ऑन द फर्स्ट इंडेक्स, दैट्स व्हाई आई हैव मेंशनड हेयर ARR1। सो एक्चुअली द सेम केस लाइज विद द 2 डायमेंशनल एरे ऑल्सो। लेकिन यहाँ पे जो हमारी सो यहाँ पे 1 डायमेंशनल एरे में जो हमारी इंडेक्सिंग होती है वो एक्चुअली होती है, ये हमारा 0th रो होता है, ये हमारा फर्स्ट रो हो गया और ये हमारा सेकंड रो हो गया। इन द सेम मैनर कमिंग टू द कॉलम्स, सो इन द सेम मैनर कमिंग टू द कॉलम्स, सो दिस वुड बी माय फर्स्ट कॉलम, सो दिस वुड बी माय 0th कॉलम, this would be my first column and this is my second column. So before that let me erase this part. So this is my second column. So यहाँ पे हम क्या करेंगे, जो हमारा 0 नंबर है वो एक्चुअली किस इंडेक्स पे प्रेजेंट है, वो प्रेजेंट है हमारे 0th रो के 0th कॉलम पे प्रेजेंट है। नाउ कमिंग टू 1 दैट इज एक्चुअली प्रेजेंट ऑन द 0th रो, बिकॉज अभी भी हम यहाँ पे अपने 0th रो में ही है हम यहाँ पे, लेकिन ये एक्चुअली किस कॉलम में है, ये फर्स्ट कॉलम में है। तो हम यहाँ पे लिख रहे होंगे 0th रो के फर्स्ट कॉलम में एलिमेंट है। फिर आफ्टर दैट कमिंग टू 2, so that is actually present in the 0th column and the 0th row and the second column. So यहाँ पे अभी तक हमने क्या समझा कि पहले हम एक जो हमारा जो एरे वेरिएबल होता है उसके नाम को हम मेंशन करते हैं। आफ्टर दैट ये हमारा जो फर्स्ट आर्गुमेंट होता है इसे हम रोज के लिए इंडिकेट करते हैं और ये सेकंड हमारे कॉलम्स के लिए इंडिकेट होता है। सो अगर ओवरऑल अगर मैं आपको ये बताऊं कि अगर हमें 2 डायमेंशनल एरे अगर डिफाइन करना होगा तो हम कैसे उसे डिफाइन कर रहे होंगे, क्योंकि यहाँ पे हमें रो और कॉलम को भी मेंशन करना है। सो फॉर दैट व्हाट आई विल बी डूइंग, आई विल बी डिफाइनिंग द डेटा टाइप विच आई वाज डूइंग इन द 1D एरे, then the same thing I will be doing again, I will be using the name of an array, but this time in the 1 dimensional array what I was doing, I was directly writing here to be ARR and after that the index that is I, क्योंकि वहाँ पे एक्चुअली अगर मैं इसे अगर इस एरे को अगर मैं देखूं, सॉरी, अगर मैं इस एरे को अगर मैं देखूं तो यहाँ पे अगर मैं डिफाइन करूं तो ये हमारा एक 1 डायमेंशनल एरे है। सो अगर हम और कॉन्सेप्ट्स को और भी क्रिस्टल क्लियर करेंगे तो 2 डायमेंशनल इज नथिंग बट कॉम्बिनेशन ऑफ 1D एरे। तो यहाँ पे हम यहाँ पे देखें तो एक्चुअली जो 1D एरे होता है उसे या तो हम एक रो बोल सकते हैं या तो हम उसे एक रो वाइज एरे बोल सकते हैं या कॉलम वाइज एरे बोल सकते हैं। तो जब हमने यहाँ पे अपने अभी डेफिनेशन में हमने ये बोला था कि 2D एरे इज लाइक कॉम्बिनेशन ऑफ रोज प्लस कॉलम्स। सो हम एक्चुअली इसी लाइन को यहाँ कहना चाह रहे थे कि हम क्यों कह रहे थे कि ये एक रोज और कॉलम्स का एक कॉम्बिनेशन है। नाउ कमिंग टू द डिक्लेयरिंग अ 2 डायमेंशनल एरे, सो हाउ आई विल बी डिक्लेयरिंग अ 2 डायमेंशनल एरे। For that I was telling that I will be using a valid data type that is int. After that I will be using the name of the variable. Inside this I will be passing the rows and then I will be passing the column. यहाँ पे आप कोई भी वेरिएबल ले सकते हैं, लेकिन बाय डिफॉल्ट जब भी हम इटरेशन का यूज करते हैं तो हम i, j, k इन टाइप की वैल्यूज में डील कर रहे होते हैं वेरिएबल्स में। अदरवाइज यू कैन टेक एनी। सो ये जो रो होगा ये ये जो आई होगा ये हमारे रो को इंडिकेट कर रहा होगा और ये जो जे होगा ये हमारे कॉलम को इंडिकेट कर रहा होगा। तो अब हमने यहाँ पे एक डिफाइन कर ली अपनी 2 डायमेंशनल एरे, बट नाउ आफ्टर दैट कमिंग टू इंसर्टिंग द एलिमेंट इनसाइड द 2D एरे। तो हमने वहाँ अपने 1D एरे में देखा था कि हम वहाँ पे एक फॉर लूप डिफाइन करते थे। आफ्टर दैट वी हैव डिफाइन i इज इक्वल टू 0 एंड देन वी हैव इटरेटेड द वैल्यू टू बी लेस देन n, बिकॉज इंडेक्सिंग जो हमारी वहाँ शुरू होती थी वो 0 से शुरू होती थी और n-1 तक जाती थी। दैट्स वाई जो हमारा कंडीशन चेक जो यहाँ पे बनता है हमेशा, वो हमेशा लेस देन n तक बनता है, मीन्स n-1 तक ये जाएगा। After that what we were doing, we were incrementing the value of I, and then with the help of the cin we have defined the value inside the array. But now as we have the rows as well as columns also in the 2-dimensional array, so for inserting the element inside the 2-dimensional array we'll be using the nested loop. अब nested loop क्या होता है? तो nested loop is like loop इनसाइड लूप। अब ये लूप इनसाइड लूप क्या, अब हमें एक्चुअली नेस्टेड लूप की आवश्यकता क्यों पड़ी? लाइक अगर जब हम 1 डायमेंशनल एरे जब हम पढ़ रहे थे तो वहां पे हमने देखा कि हमें एक लूप की आवश्यकता थी, लेकिन यहाँ पे हमें जो यूज है वो हम टू लूप्स को यूज कर रहे होंगे फॉर लूप को। ऐसा इसलिए क्योंकि फॉर एग्जाम्पल मैं आपको एक सिंपल सा 2 डायमेंशनल एरे मैं एक बनाता हूँ 2x2 का। सो ये एक 2x2 का एरे है जिसका कि पहला एड्रेस होगा वो 0 होगा, दूसरा 0 1 होगा। आफ्टर दैट द थर्ड वन विल बी 1 0 एंड द सेकंड वन वुड बी 1 1। तो मैंने कहा पहले कि मुझे पहले 0th रो में अपनी एलिमेंट को इंसर्ट करनी है। तो जो मेरा फर्स्ट लूप होगा, तो जो मेरा यहाँ पे फर्स्ट लूप होगा लाइक फॉर इंट i इज इक्वल टू 0, i लेस देन n। यहाँ पे n मैं एक्चुअली रोज के नंबर्स को मान रहा हूं और i प्लस प्लस, और हम यहाँ पे फॉर लूप की ब्रैकेट शुरू कर देंगे। सो नाउ हमने यहाँ पे क्या किया कि हमने यहाँ पे फॉर लूप का जब ब्रैकेट शुरू किया तो पहले जो मेरा पॉइंटर है वो इस पोजीशन को पॉइंट कर रहा होगा। This one will be pointed by my pointer. So now my pointer need to have the access of these two, because 0th रो में तो हम आ गए, लेकिन कौन सी कॉलम में? क्योंकि यहाँ पे तो हमारे पास 0th कॉलम भी और फर्स्ट कॉलम भी है, but we need to insert the element at this position. So what I'll be doing, I'll be using the second loop, that is second for loop. So what I'll be doing, I'll be using for int, यहाँ पे चूंकि हमने i यूज किया है तो i ऑलरेडी हमारे रो को इंडिकेट कर रहा है, so we'll be using the j here, and then what we'll be doing, we'll be using j less than m. So m जो यहाँ पे है वो मेरे नंबर ऑफ कॉलम्स को यूज कर रहा होगा, तो मैं यहाँ पे ऊपर लिख देता हूँ पहले। So जो हम यहाँ पे n यूज कर रहे हैं वो है नंबर ऑफ रोज। आफ्टर दैट जो हम यहाँ पे m यूज कर रहे हैं वो है नंबर ऑफ कॉलम्स। तो यहाँ पे अब हमने ये डिफाइन कर दी कि मेरा जो j का जो लूप चलना चाहिए वो कैसे चलना चाहिए, वो हमारे जितने भी कॉलम्स हैं उसके अकॉर्डिंग चलनी चाहिए। एंड आफ्टर दैट द सेम केस अप्लाइज हियर, दैट इट विल आल्सो बी इंक्रीमेंटेड बाय 1। नाउ द लूप ऑफ j इज आल्सो स्टार्टेड। तो अब चूंकि क्या हो रहा होगा कि अब जो हमारा पॉइंटर होगा वो एक्चुअली पॉइंट कर रहा होगा 0 पोजीशन को, मींस जो भी मेरा मेमोरी ब्लॉक होगा जो कि 0 पे होगा, वहां पे जैसे मान लिया मैंने 11 इंसर्ट करनी है। सो आई विल बी यूजिंग cin, एंड इनसाइड cin आई विल बी पासिंग arr, आफ्टर दैट i, j। तो अब हमने यहाँ पे क्या किया, हमने ये बोला कि पहले तो आप चले जाओ 0th रो में, या यू हैव गॉन टू द 0th रो। आफ्टर दैट इन द 0th रो यू गो टू द 0th कॉलम and then insert the value here 11. After that अभी चूंकि ये हमारा ये एक आउटर लूप है और ये इनर लूप है, तो इनर लूप हमेशा जब तक पूरा एग्जीक्यूशन हमारे इस इनर लूप की पूरी नहीं हो जाती तब तक हमारा कंट्रोल बाहर नहीं आएगा. So now what will happen? Now our second condition would be, so before that let me erase this one. तो चूंकि यहाँ पे मेरी ये कंडीशन है, अब जैसे j की वैल्यू अगर मैं दोबारा, अगर आपको हीट एंड ट्रायल अगर याद आ रहा होगा, तो हमारे पास यहाँ क्या हुआ होगा, हमारे पास यहाँ दो वेरिएबल्स बने होंगे, एक बनी होगी i की और एक बनी होगी j की, और हमारे पास यहाँ ऑलरेडी हमारे पास ये हमारे 4 ब्लॉक बन गए होंगे, क्योंकि हमने ऑलरेडी डिफाइन कर दिया था कि वी नीड टू हैव अ एरे ऑफ साइज 2:2. सो अभी एरे में वैल्यू 0 है i में और j में भी वैल्यू 0 है. ये वाली जो है ये हमारी एक आउटर लूप है, तो मैं यहाँ आउटर लूप को मैं OL से कर रहा हूँ डिनोट, और यहाँ मैं इनर लूप को मैं IL से डिनोट कर देता हूँ. तो चूंकि मैंने अभी क्या कहा कि जो हमारी आउटर लूप होगी वो इनर लूप के कंडीशन को जस्ट जब तक सेटिस्फाई कर रही होगी तब तक वो रन करेगी. तो आप यहाँ देख रहे हैं कि जो हमारी ये जो कंडीशन है, यहाँ पे जो हमारी ये आउटर लूप की जो कंडीशन है और जो इनर लूप की कंडीशन है, तो इसे कब तक रन करना है, इसे तब तक रन करना है जब तक j लेस देन m है, और यहाँ m की वैल्यू क्या है 2 और n की वैल्यू है 2. तो अभी j की वैल्यू 0 है, मीन्स इट विल बी चेकिंग द कंडीशन दैट 0 इज लेस देन 2, या द कंडीशन इज ट्रू, सो इट विल बी डिनोटिंग दिस पोजीशन, एंड आफ्टर दैट आई विल बी राइटिंग हियर 1. सो दिस इज 0 0. Now the j value will be incremented, that is now the j value from 0 will be changed to 1. After the value is changed from 0 to 1, so now what will happen, now my pointer will come to this position, that is on the 0th row and on the first column. So now here I will be inserting the value to be 2. Now if the j value changes to 2, so it will again check the condition that 2 less than 2. So this condition is absolutely false. So the loop will come out of this inner loop, that is of the j loop, which I was telling here. Let me denote. Let me mention here. So this one. So now what will happen? So now this time my outer loop will be incremented. So now the value of so now the I value from 0 it will change to 1. After that it will check here condition that is 1 less than 2, because n value is also 2, so yeah, the condition is true. So now what will happen, again it will come to this position, so it will check here, so now it will come here 1. After that 0th row, sorry, I have written here the opposite. So let me change this one. So yeah, so this is again in the first row and the 0th column. So now the value will be inserted here 3 and the value here inserted will be 4. So this is how actually the 2D loop works. So we will be seeing the same in our ID. So as you can see here, तो यहाँ पे हमने क्या किया है कि यहाँ पे सबसे पहले हमने रो और कॉलम डिफाइन किया है, जैसा कि हम यहाँ पे अपने इस क्वेश्चन में देख सकते हैं कि यहाँ पे भी हमने रोज और कॉलम्स डिफाइन किए थे. तो जैसा मैं आपको बता रहा हूँ, अभी हमने वहां पे जब डिफाइन किया होगा तो क्या हो रहा होगा. तो यहाँ पे हमने रो एंड कॉलम डिसाइड किया. आफ्टर दैट वी हैव टेकन द इनपुट फ्रॉम द यूजर दैट प्लीज एंटर द रो एज वेल एज कॉलम. So now what I'll be doing, I'll be inserting the value inside them with the help of the nested for loop, and after that I'll be showing their value with the help of cout. So once I'm going to compile this code, okay, n was not declared in this scope, yeah, because I need to write here column because I have mentioned the variable name to be column. So again this side I need to mention here column. Yeah, so now my code is absolutely correct. ARR is not defined in this scope. Okay, so I'll be writing here ARR row row this side and after that the column. तो एक्चुअली यहाँ पे ये क्यों कह रहा था कि दिस वन इज नॉट डिफाइंड, क्योंकि हमने यहाँ पे यूजर से इनपुट ले लिया रोज एज वेल एज कॉलम, बट हैज कि but when the time come of defining an array, we forget to define the array. That's why before taking the input inside an array, I have defined an array which is having the row value to be row which we have taken from the user, and after that column value will be the same which we have taken from the user. Now if I run the code, so the code starts executing. So it is asking me here, please enter the values of rows and columns. So I'll be using here 2 by 2. Now it is asking me to enter the value inside the matrix, because यहाँ पे कि जैसा कि आप देख रहे होंगे, यहाँ पे भी सबसे पहले हमारे पास एक यहाँ पे हमारे पास एक एरे 2 by 2 का बन गया होगा, जो कि कुछ ऐसा दिख रहा होगा, जहाँ पे कि ये रोज होंगे और ये वर्टिकल वाले कॉलम्स होंगे. So the same case is created here also. So the same case is created here also. So now I'll be using the console panel and I'll be entering the value 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I'll see here, I can see my values inside the matrix to be 1, 2, 3 and 4. So this was actually how we are defining an two-dimensional array. सबसे पहले तो हम टू डायमेंशनल एरे में मैं एक बार फिर से रिपीट कर देता हूँ. या सो वेयर आई वॉज. तो यहाँ पे हमने चूंकि जब डिफाइन किया होगा तो हमारे पास यहाँ पे एक 2 by 2 की एक मैट्रिक्स बन गई होगी, जो कि हमने यहाँ अपने कोड में डिफाइन किया, एंड देन वी हैव इंसर्टेड द वैल्यू इनसाइड देम. तो पहले यहाँ पे वैल्यू इंसर्ट हुई होगी 1. पहले यहाँ पे वैल्यू इंसर्ट हुई होगी यहाँ पे 1. लेट मी चेंज द कलर सो दैट इट विल नॉट क्रिएट अ कंफ्यूजन फॉर यू ऑल. तो यहाँ पे पहले वैल्यू इंसर्ट होगी 1, फिर 2, देन 3 and then 4. So this is actually how the two-dimensional array works. So before closing this session, I'll be giving you some of the questions which you need to practice. So the first question is write a program to add two matrix. After that, our second question would be write a program to multiply two matrix. So here I'm just giving you a hint in this question, in the second one, that while multiplying, just check the condition of matrix multiplication which we have been doing in our mathematics. So this is actually how we are going to have the matrix multiplication. Then you can do the divide also, and then you can do the subtraction also. Now, as I was telling in my last class that we will be seeing that how actually we can print a pattern. So for example, we have a pattern like this. So for example, so let me do once again 4 by 4. So for example, I have told you to only print this one. So in this the three questions are coming, that is the upper triangle, then comes the lower triangle, and then comes the main diagonal. So you need to write the program to execute these three tasks. So before executing this code, I'm just giving you one hint that as of now what we have discussed, that we have I comma j. So this I comma j is always satisfying some condition, that is somewhere I will be greater than j, somewhere I will be less than j, somewhere I will be equal to j, and somewhere what would have been happening, that I plus j would have been less than or greater than n. So you can use these conditions. So you can use these four conditions just to print your these patterns. So I request you to just try these three questions, this one, and after that just try this above two questions which I have given, that is this one and this one, and I'll request you to please put down your code in our comment section, and in case you are not able to solve them, just drop a message in our comment section and I'll be providing you the code that how you can solve this question. So this was all for the 1D and 2D array. This was actually the fundamental of this, so I request you to please practice a lot of question on it so that you can gain the confidence. That's all. Thank you.
Well, I guess these skills are surely going to help you gain confidence. And let us know the same in our comment section below. Don't forget to hit the bell icon and subscribe to your favorite channel, Studlins, for more of this type of useful and interesting videos.